Night Happy Hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue. Well, what comes up comes out. That's right.
Comes
How's it
out.
going, Sue?
Oh, it is so good to be back here. You know, regardless of what I am doing during the day, how much sleep I do have, or how much sleep I don't have, regardless of how stressed some things and or people be trying to make me. When I come on here, Friday night, late night, happy hour, it is just such a joy. I don't even know Facebook, Instagram. I don't even know if you could understand. It is just like a pressure release. It's like I'm getting ready to have fun. I don't know what we're going to
Yup.
talk about,
I'm
but
right.
whatever we're going to talk about, it is going to be so good. Let me turn off my
Yep.
phone because I don't know if that's what's causing the feedback.
Oh, you got some feedback?
Yeah.
A lot of times, like if I hear feedback, I'll just mute you while I'm talking, or I'll mute myself while you talking. So I keep that in mind. Hello, Facebook land, whoever's watching. Stop by, say hello. Who we got in the comments? And I already dropped some stuff. Diana, Queen Diana. What's up, Queen? Good to see you and feel your energy in the room as always. Big hug. All right, so
Sure, it's
Dr.
good.
Sue. I know, Sue. What you been up to today?
Girl, I would like to say that I went on a world tour, that I traveled, that I met all of these really dynamite, interesting people. I would like to say that, but that would be such a lie. Such,
That means just nothing but a lie, huh? Nothing but a lie. Ain't no, the devil is a lie.
such a lie, such a lie. I have been in content production mode, but not I've been writing. I'm moving back into there's another book coming, y'all. I'm just saying.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I know. And I am so excited about it because it will, as I'm writing, I'm learning, I am embodying the information on a whole different level. And it's like I'm getting all these downloads and I can see things that I hadn't, connections that I hadn't seen before. And it's just a great place to be in
Right.
when everything is flowing. Um, I like with the book that I just finished, From Mastering Your Mind to Mastering Your Life. I said to someone, I got to read my book. And
I
she
got
said,
to read it.
she said, you wrote it. What do you mean you got to read it? I go, I
Yeah.
know I wrote it and I read it. I don't know how many times during the editing, but just to sit down and read it and to see some of the information that's there and go, wow, that came through me. Notice I said came through me because it didn't come from me because it wasn't
Right.
information that I knew. But it's like, wow, it just brings me back to the magnificence of the creator and how all of that works together. And how, if you, I think that where I want to start from today is if you will allow yourself to be a receiver, if you will allow yourself to be open to receive that which the creator has for you, whatever it may be, it is so exciting. It's such a joy. I read the stuff that I write and I go, daggone it, I need to meet that girl. Cause
Yeah.
wow, wow. So that's what's
Yeah.
coming up for me. I'm just
Yeah.
excited and happy to be here.
Yeah. I feel like that releasing puts us in a better receiving mode because one of the things that I've learned, as to your point, I had to release my expectations of what certain things I wanted was supposed to look like, what they were supposed to come with, the warranty of it, the color, the make, the model, and all those things. But once I released what that was and said, give me what is the
Mhm.
perfect vibration of the type of joy I want to have, things took on different forms. because it
Yeah.
came out better than I ever could have imagined, because the limitations of my experiences will cut you well, the limitations of my experience cut me short of what was truly
Yeah.
expansive for me, because there's so many things I haven't seen. So how can I compare it to the things that I've already experienced? I want everything. I want all of it. And when you
Yeah.
allow yourself to release what your expectations of it from your limiting beliefs, not just your limiting beliefs, because I found myself believing in anything. But when I try to put it into words or try to describe it, then I am limiting to
Yeah.
it to the belief of what I've already seen. I can't help it. I can't look too far outside of what I've seen, and I can expand that until it pop wide open. But if I describe something perfect in the perfect day, and then all of a sudden Dr. Seuss say, and ice cream, I'm like, and ice cream, yes. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
someone else says, and then we can go fishing. I didn't even think of fishing. And then you just started getting all these collective ideas. But because I haven't met you, and all the fanciful things you've been to doesn't mean I want to cut myself off from it. Oh,
Exactly.
no, no, no. I
Exactly.
want all the good
Exactly.
you seen too, not just the good I've seen. Oh, 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 hold on. What
Hey.
It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. What's up? It's been a minute. How you doing, Keisha? You hear me? All right, but yeah, don't limit yourself to the things you haven't, to the things you've seen. Be open to know that the thing that created us all, well, no matter what you want to call it, we are all splitting. That's what reproduction is. You take two things and you put them together, create things. Do you realize that communion is still a splitting
Yeah.
of ideas? Because it's partially your father and partially your mother. That is a splitting, coming together of the splitting of things. That's what life is all about, taking everything that ever was and molding into something new, a new fingerprint, a new thing. And there's so many things that are coming together that we've never met. I live out all of the dreams of my ancestors, and I feel more
Mm.
connected to them than people that I've even met.
Mm.
But I don't know what they've seen. I don't know what they
Mm-hmm.
lived. But all the experiences I can tap into, all the
Mm-hmm.
love I can tap into, all the knowledge I can tap into, all of the things I have free range to tap into, as long as I release that small fraction of an experience that I've had so far. What's up, Keisha?
Well, kind of piggybacking off of what you're saying, as you were talking, I thought, regardless of how expansive our vocabulary is, it still is very limited within the realm of all that is, right? Because you can only give voice to your experiences, and or you can only use the language that you have. And even just think, even to look up a word in the dictionary, you got to know a word in order to look up a word. All
And
right.
somebody had to know the word you was looking to put it in there.
Right. And so when you think about it, it's like, wow, that is, we are expanding and we are expansive, but at the same time, even in all of our expansiveness, we are still like that. And to your point, just taking off the those concrete expectations, those thoughts that, well, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Oh,
No,
this is just
you
who
don't
I
know
am.
how it's supposed to be. You don't know how it's supposed to be. And that this is just who I am. I talk about that when I in my master class that I'm doing now, that this is just who I am. It's not just who you are. It is the composite of everything that you have ever been in touch with, everybody that you have ever been in touch with, and more often than not, you are embodying their limitations, and you do so
When
at such an early age. You begin to do that. You don't know that what you're taking on, the stories that you're taking on, the narratives that you're telling yourself, you don't know that they're not yours. And so one of the
Yes.
questions I ask in the master class is, whose life are you living? Just think about
Yes.
that. Whose life are you living? I know I lived my mama's life for a long time and didn't know that that was what I was doing. But
In
when
the
you think
comments,
about
raise your hand if you done that.
when you think about the rules that are imposed on you, the things that you're told that you can do or you can't do, they're not coming from you. They are externally imposed. And so that many times the fears that we have, they didn't originate within us. It is your mama's fear, which she inherited from her mama, which she inherited from, it's the lineage.
Her
It is that,
neighbor, her daddy, yeah.
yeah, it is that trauma that passes down through the generations. And so often we just show up with, well, this is just who I am. And one of the things that I encourage people to do when you hear yourself saying that, or when you hear yourself thinking, well, this is just who I've always been, or that's just the way it is, stop. That right there should be a signal to give you cause to pause, because that's not just the way it is. And to examine who's who wrote the storyline. Now, some of the storylines are excellent. So I'm not saying trash at all. What I am saying is make a conscious decision. You have choice, you have agency. But because you are so you, that's all of us, because we're all subject to the same type of conditioning. So because we are so conditioned, I hear, and I said this myself, I hear talk about spiritual awakening. Well, that's what this is. This is about waking up to the knowledge of who you are as a spirit being. And it doesn't mean that you trash everything that you have learned, but it does mean that you look with conscious eyes. You look with your own eyes. And in doing so, you realize that mama gave me the best that she had. Daddy did too, whether he was there or not, whether she was there or not. I got the best that they have. But now it's like, now that I'm a grown person, I get to choose. And I can choose to be a victim. And I'm not saying life isn't hard. Life is damn hard a lot of times. But even in the hardness, you can choose, I'm going to look at this as an impossible hurdle to get over, or I'm going to stand on the lesson that I've learned. I'm going to stand on the experience and allow it to catapult me into the being and or the future that I want to have. So just who I am? No, 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 no. You got choice, you have agency. And so that's really what I've been working on and what I talk about in the webinar. Know that the identity that you have taken on, you have embodied, you get to choose whether you're going to stay in that or not. And that is so much power. You have power in your own hands that you don't even realize, especially, and you give it up if you say, that's just the way I am, or that's just who I am. That means that you have given up your power to all of those people who poured into you, good, bad, and ugly. And so, yeah, now you are that, but now you also have an opportunity to do something different. Carrie Irene?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And because, I could just feel it out there. Someone being like, well, my daddy or my mama or my ex or my brother, my sister or that person or that uncle, whatever, they didn't give me the best that they have. I know they could have done better. Sometimes the best that they got is some of the worst thing that we have received.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not the best thing to have, because even if they meant to do the bad that they meant to do to you, today you can transmute it. That's what transmutation is all about. It's when you take something and you change it in a way because of what your energetic makeup is and what you have decided to clear out of your way so that you can filter it differently. That's what transmutation is. And I know that may be, far-fetched for someone, but think of it this way. Say, for instance, you have a flat tire, right? And you just sit in your car for a second. When you and everything in you want to take the steering wheel and say,
Yeah, been there, done that. Not helpful
But
at
the
all. Go ahead.
transmutation is you sit there, you allow that energy to surge through you. You allow that clammy skin to become dry again. You allow your heartbeat to become back level. You allow all of that heightened sensation to just transmute into a deep breath air that you probably needed since early this morning. It didn't happen just when the thing happened. You probably been putting this moment to rest for a long time. And in that moment, you open your eyes and a bird flies by, and you have no idea what that damn bird's saying. But whatever it's saying it to you. Or you open the car door and look down, and there's just some random dirty ass dollar laying on the ground, just for you, just enough to make one side of your mouth curl up and say, you know, that's transmutation. This isn't rocket science. So when I'm talking about transmutation, I'm not talking about someone sitting in the forest saying, "Wind blow harder, harder." That ain't what I'm. Yeah, that ain't what we're talking about. Now that is possible. You know, that's for the airbenders out there. Everybody ain't called to be an airbender, but everyone is called to transmute your experience into something that you want to be multiplied in your life. And the only way you can do that is to realize what energy is to you. Realize how you can manipulate that energy. Manipulation has got such a negative connotation to a lot of people because we do not want to be manipulated. But you better soon realize how to manipulate. Not people, but your experience and your perspective and the harnesses that you use to control your energy. So, and like I was telling that last week, I'm having the master class on the 808 portal on August 8th. Same master class I've been doing, Everyday Alchemy. I'm doing it again, and it's getting more and more precise. Come and join me. But we're talking about that in the different ways that we can learn how to manipulate energy. There's 4 different ways. I'm just talking about right now. It's like the assimilation part. It's really what I'm feeling. It's because a lot of times we get energy and we just don't know where to put it. So we just
Mhm.
let it run rampant. We just want to let it, want to cuss somebody out, or we want to punch a hole in the wall. Now not only is your hand hurting, but you ain't getting your security deposit back. Baby, what direction did you go in the fork of the road? Wrong way. Wrong way. You went the wrong way. And this is transmutation of energy. Because instead of that, go and clean the damn garage you've been saying you're gonna clean for the last 2 months. Go clean out those drawers. Go file some stuff away. Go for that walk. Join the gym again. We have so much energy and we just want to act as if we don't have any control over where it goes. I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so bored. I'm just so horny. I'm just so all these are all energy that just want to.
Horny, horny, horny. Okay, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I'm sorry. Okay.
Look, I got,
You gotta have a little
let me
humor.
cut the fan off.
Humor is good for the soul. Laughter is healing. Do not be so serious that you can't even stand yourself. And that really, again, that's another way. Sorry, I interrupted you, Carrie
Oh
Irene.
no,
That
it
is
was a
another
great
way,
segue.
very effective way to transmute energy. And
Yeah.
one of the things I find myself doing often now, I tell my business. Let me just tell you, I was the girl who took pride in not handling the energy. I was the one, if you made me angry, understand, I'm thinking you're making me angry, but the reality is nobody can do that.
You
But
mad.
that is learned. I had to learn that. But I would get so angry, I could literally feel the heat rising up through my
Oh yeah.
body.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh, and in that moment, I could not control myself. I didn't know how. I didn't know how. And I thought for ever so long, this is normal. Well, it is a normal physiological reaction, but it doesn't mean that you have to give in to it. It doesn't mean that you have to live there. Something as simple as just focusing on your breathing for just a couple of seconds, that'll change it. Going for a walk, jumping up and down, your body
Stomping your
will
feet. Yeah.
do the same thing. It won't do two things at once. If you are consumed with that, it just start moving your hand, dance. I can't dance. Just flip around. Whatever. Do something. Get up out of the chair that you're in and walk to another chair. The energy itself will transmute. The energy, that feeling of it'll
Yeah.
go to the gym. Work hard. Work. Number one, if you go, I love going to the gym. You go to the gym and you're working out hard and you that energy, that's one of the best workouts you can ever have. That is what that is absolutely one of the best. You come out of there and it's like, damn, I did that.
I did
I did
that.
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you do have to move that energy. It's just stagnant energy with nowhere to go. And that's why a lot of people create a lot of different things and ailments in their lives. And don't be upset about it. This is the body's way of telling you. That's like you're saying, for instance, if your house is on fire and you're asleep and someone busts into your house and they said, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, the house is on fire," and you say, "Damn, why you so loud?" Oh, that's what we tend to do to our
Yeah.
bodies. We get a headache, like, man, my fucking head won't stop hurting all the time. Well, let me tell you something. Before the headache started, the headache looked out the window. The headache said, the headache ran to the front door. The headache ran out across the yard. The headache ran down the street. The headache banged on your front door and didn't hear nothing. The headache opened the door and said, "Is anyone there? Is anyone there?" And then the headache said, "Wake up, wake up. The house is on fire." But we want to ignore all the other signs and all the smoke in our houses and then be mad at the headache or the person who wakes us up that's just being too loud. Because we're not paying enough attention to ourselves because we're too worried about what Susie doing, what Sassy doing, what Karen doing, what Tommy doing, what Leon doing, and all the other Joneses and their kids is doing. And not only what they're doing, but what they're thinking about, what you're doing. And what they're going to say about what you have decided is best for you. And then we have all this energy and all this annoyance because we're so sick of people being so loud and things being so loud in our lives, or things not going our way, things not going right, us not being able to sleep. We can't focus. But every time we go to bed, we like this. Every time we go to bed, we like this. Because when it's time to go to bed, we don't go to bed. When we go to bed, we want to exhaust ourselves before we rest. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't have to be that way. We should train ourselves in order to prepare ourselves to say, "Body, you've done enough. And today, now it's time to lay down." A lot of times that is not because you have sleep apnea. It's not because you have palpitations. It's not because of that. It's because your body has been arrested from an habitual traumatization state that you have found yourself in that keeps repeating itself. And you may not be getting beat anymore, but you still wear this armor, which you like to call overweight, because you want to have a what you call a hydraulics from when you do get hit. Not by a physical person anymore, but by the blows that you feel like the hit is still coming.
That's powerful right there.
Or maybe you're not sleeping, not because you know I can't keep my mind to stop, but because you're still waiting for the next shoe to drop, because that's the way it was always. Because in your childhood, every time you turn around, you had to move somewhere else. You had to pick up and go. You didn't know where you were safe or where you're secure. And now you brought that into your adult life. And every single time that you really like where you are, you feel this weird sensation to go. And you think it's just a wild hair. But really, you ain't dealt with the trauma of being
Mm.
snatched out of every situation you got comfortable in. You don't have to
That's,
dig too far. You just have to let go of what comes up. We talked about this last week.
yeah.
Releasing and healing and stuff doesn't require a lot of digging. It requires your attention. It requires your focus. Not what's been going on all my life, but what is coming up right now that has happened earlier that's causing it to affect what I got going on right now. Because everything that you ever had that affect everything you ever, whatever, it may still be there. But if it's not something that's causing up or kicking up dust for you or making you sneeze, let lying dogs lie. Maybe that's just trauma that don't need to be addressed. But a lot of times we just dig up shit for no reason, just because we're like, I'm sad and I don't know why. Let me figure it out. It might just be because you got ADHD. Because I know with me, I found myself being sad and depressed because I didn't want to admit to myself that it was comfortable for me to be busy. It's comfortable for me to be busy. I'm not exhausting myself. I am exerting my creative power because I like to have my hands into more than one things at one time and see how they all intertwine and just come together
Mhm.
into one smooth little whatever you want to call it. It's like having one of them rocks, you know what I'm talking about. So when you have one of them rocks in the smoother, it makes so much fucking noise, right? But when it come out, you're like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
ooh. ADHD.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it's that to you. It may sound like,
yeah,
but for me, it's like I know it's
yeah,
getting smooth. So make sure you just paying attention to you and doing what feels good to you because that's where we get misaligned. That comparison and all the kind of things. Just like what I talk about in my master class, what Dr. Sue's going to be talking about in her master class. It's really a matter of focus, wouldn't you say?
yeah. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, well, as you were speaking, several thoughts were just racing, bumping heads in my head. And one thought was, we take on these labels that other people have put out there. Some of them they try to attach to us, some of them we just embody, but we internalize labels. And one of the things that I have done, and I don't know when I started to do that, but I'll tell you, it's like taking off a heavy coat or coats. I stopped I stopped living by the labels. I stopped even calling things good or bad, right or wrong. Those are very subjective labels, and and they are very much determined by context, and what is bad in one context can be good in a different one, and what is bad in one culture can be good in a different one. So as I began to just really lean into that understanding, I thought, it's just an occurrence. It's just an experience. It's not
Yes.
right. It's not wrong. It just is. And and you may wonder, well, if just an experience, that doesn't really describe it. If you need to describe it, focus on the objective components. I woke up this morning. I opened my eyes. I put my feet on the floor. I put one foot in front of the other. I'm not judging whether, oh, my feet hurt or that. No, I'm not even saying that I'm moving. I am describing objectively. And you say, well, why do you do that? Well, I learned as a law enforcement officer, just the facts, baby, just the facts. And everything else is coloration. I learned that as a lawyer. And then having to teach my students, we did a lot of scenarios, and you change one factor and you change everything. That one factor changes everything. So what I have tried to do is be very conscious of, what are the factors that I am internalizing? What am I taking on that is causing me to see this in a certain way? And I back it out. And as I have done, as I've gotten more comfortable doing it, what I find is that now it is my default behavior. I don't have to focus on it so much. And in fact, sometimes I have to kind of sit and hold myself, because as you're talking, I'm doing the same thing with you.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know
and
what you
when I'm
mean. Yeah.
talking with somebody, it's like, you'll say, you're just in normal conversation, and those words are like ping, 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 and I'm going, oh, stop, Sue, stop. But I think that Another thing that came up was when we you talked about good dad, bad dad. You didn't say it that way, but that's really what we're
Hey.
talking about. And the beliefs that we embody around that. Again, what we've done is attach labels to a person, label to a behavior. When I think about that, what I say is that that person is at capacity. They're at capacity. Now, their capacity, if you imagine a 16-ounce bottle of water, their capacity may be 50. You're at 100. You're mad with them because they can't give you another 50. But think about it. If all they got is 50, they are giving you 100% of the 50 that they've got. Why are you getting mad because they can't give you anything else?
Mhm.
Now, just think about that. Does that make sense? We are all of us, regardless of who we are or what is going on in our lives. In this particular moment, we are at capacity. Can't give you any more because I don't have any more. Now, if it so happens that I wake up in the morning, I may have some more because that's a different day, a different time, right? And I've had some time to sleep. Not only God knows what has happened during sleep. So I wake up and I'm rested. So now I can see things differently.
Mhm.
But it is irrational to expect a person, regardless of who he or she is, to you. It is irrational to expect them to give you something that they can't, that they don't have. And then when you think about, well, why do I have that expectation? That is societal programming. Society says your family is supposed to love you. Well, who said your family is supposed to love you? Which one of them told you they were supposed to love you? Your mama's supposed to
Where
love you. Your
that
daddy's supposed to
at?
love you. They didn't say that. That is one of those unwritten rules of society because we want to, y'all,
Yes.
families in this
Yes.
culture, it's all
Yes.
about the economics of it. It's all about the
Yes.
money. Let's just get real. So keeping you together, the government gets to control you because they say you belong over here. You belong over there. And we don't think about that part, but we internalize this whole thing as being, well, I was born into this family and I have brothers. My brother don't love me. Why don't my brother love me? So what's wrong with me? Ain't nothing wrong with you, and nothing's wrong with him
Ain't
either.
nothing wrong
He
with
don't have
you.
to love you. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. But we carry that trauma. And we carry it at a subconscious level, and we do not realize at the time that it is controlling our reality. We're looking at our lives, what we can and can't do through the lens of something that happened when we were 2 years old, three
Yes.
years old, and we're
Yes.
allowing that to impose limitations on who we be, on how we see the world.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you are the one that is in control of the life that you live. You, they, listen, that person may have dropped poison in your water. As a kid, you had no choice because if that was the only water you had. But if you're still drinking that same water, now you're ruminating on it, tell me what
Yes.
sense that makes.
Yeah.
None. Oh, you can tell me what sense it makes to you. It don't make none to me. Carrie.
He don't make nothing to you. Well,
Yeah.
we always trying, people are always screaming, don't keep me where you meet me. Wherever you
Yeah.
met me at, don't keep you where you met you. Where you remember you, where you put you. Don't keep yourself there. Cause you ain't the 2-year old. Cause ain't nobody gonna tell me that if they told you to go back to school right now, the last thing you gonna choose is that two second grade desk.
You know what
Did somebody
happened?
say what you say? Say it again.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cutting in.
Go
I
ahead.
had a flashback, right? Y'all.
She about to tell her business. She did like this. She said, y'all,
Okay.
let us have it. Let us have it.
So when I was in first grade, I had a memory of being in first grade. I had a memory of going up to the teacher's desk. There were probably There were about 4 or 5 of us. You know how the teachers at the desk and little kids gather around. Now
Mm.
I was the chocolate drop. Everybody else
Okay.
was a light bright. I was the one
Okay.
whose mama had my mama. She wasn't into hairstyles. She had one style, two tracks on this side, one across the middle, one across the top, and two down the middle. And the other little girls had little bouncy balls, bouncy balls. So I'm looking at the light bright and the bouncy balls. This shows you how children are impacted, and you don't even realize the impact that something is having on them.
Yeah.
I, for real, I'm telling business,
Mm.
for 74 years, I carried 70 years, I carried that vision. And in that remembrance, I said the teacher treated them differently than she treated me. The teacher did it because they were light brights and I was a chocolate drop. The teacher did it because they came from the good side of town and I did not. Well, as I have begun to immerse myself more into studying the brain, the power of the subconscious mind, understanding how that works, and how we create stories of things that didn't happen. And so as
Yes.
I thought about it, I remember waking up one day going, damn, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But let me say this, and this is why it was so important. I spent a lifetime believing that that had happened. I spent a lifetime believing that somebody thought I wasn't good enough, and so I thought that I wasn't good enough too. That's powerful.
Yeah.
When I had that realization, these things live below the surface. A part of my work is to make the invisible visible, even with me. These things live below the surface. I had been able to see that occurrence in my mind so clear, it was like it was happening right today. But the
Right.
day that I said, I made it up. I'm not saying that something
Mhm.
didn't happen, but what
Right.
I said happened did not happen. That memory began to fade. You see, we internalize these stories, these beliefs, and we hold on to them, and the energy, we hold on to the energy. Now, just because I am who I am, as I realized that the memory of it was fading, I kept trying to pull it back up because I
All
live
right.
with it.
Won't we do it? Won't we do it?
I I kept trying to pull it back up because you've been
Uh-huh.
my friend for 69, 70 years, right? Every time I thought about it, I have been able to see it. But this is all about transformation. When you name it, when you can see it, if you are true to yourself about what you're seeing, then you can release it. It was transformative the moment that I said, that did not happen. At this point, I can't tell you what happened other than there were some of us at the desk. And this goes back to the labels. There were some of us at the desk. There were girls. There may have been a boy. I don't know. And the teacher was there. And I remember that she was doing something with papers. Teacher doing what teacher does, right? But
Teacher doing what teacher does.
I looked at that, and in my mind, because of my own insecurities, I gave it meaning that wasn't true meaning. And so the question that I ask, how many of us are doing the same thing? And then we live that lie, and it limits us with regard to possibilities. It limits us with regard to how we see ourselves, how we interact with others, whether we think that we can do and or be certain things. We're carrying all the weight and all the trauma. Y'all, science
Yeah,
says
yo.
90%, not check 90% of what we say happened did not happen that way. If it happened at all. If it happened at all.
If it happened
And
at
and,
all.
and, and the research indicates that usually, as was the case with Dr. Sue, That shit just didn't happen. I made it up. Made it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for a fact there was some things that I so badly wanted to believe, and the more you tell yourself, and the thing is, it sometimes it's just ever so slight. It's ever so slight. Like, for instance, it'll start off with my teacher, treated me differently. Then it's, why did she look at me like that? And then it's, then you get upset, and then you decide that you don't want to do anything, and then when you catch the repercussions of what you made a decision on, even you feel like your consequences is more severe than if anyone else were going to do it that way. Yeah, I completely get it because I've been there, especially when you're, I'm gonna tell them my, look at me about to tell my business.
Lean in.
Oh,
Lean in. Y'all lean in.
it's especially that way with money. There's a lot of situations that I've realized that when people have put me in situations, or if I felt as if someone was putting something off on me that created an extra financial barrier for me, it's almost subconsciously I knew that they knew that it was going to hurt me more than it was going to hurt them, because I was giving my last and they was giving a portion, okay? What they say, the pig gave it all. The chicken gave a donation for the eggs, but the pig gave it all. I felt like a pig, okay? I felt like the pig for
Yeah.
most of my life
Yeah.
because I always found myself giving my last. But the thing is, I put myself in a position to give last because of what my idea of prosperity was. It was not what was in my bank account, but what was in my heart. And I had to come to a realization to stop beating myself up for feeling that way and allow abundance to come to me in different ways and be more creative about what abundance looked like for me. Not because I didn't want money, but because I couldn't figure out what that manifestation lever looked like. I couldn't quite figure out how to multiply what I had, because I was always way too focused on how proud I was to be the one that was
Mm-hmm.
willing to give their last. Well, baby, I gave that up, okay? We live this
Mm-hmm.
lie. We live this fantasy in our head as if we're supposed to be a martyr, or what that's supposed to feel like, or someone's supposed to pat you on the back for the sacrifice you decided to make. Baby, no, because I'm gonna tell you something. I don't like nothing better than being able to pay for somebody's stuff. And I had to realize that. And it wasn't, I had to let go of what it felt like when I felt like I was doing my last, and instead work on what it feels like to look at expansion in a different way. Because, baby, now the money, baby, give it to me. Okay? And then I was thinking that the other day. A lot of us be like, well, um, again, telling my business. Many times I thought, I ain't gonna say we and us and all the thing, me. I didn't think I was being a good steward of money because I was the person that would give their last. But when I look back and see how blessed I've been to be always taken care of, when I look back and see I've always had somewhere to lay my head, I've always had someone that has looked at me and said, because I know what you have done behind the scenes and the things that you've told no one about, and yet I know what you did and I saw what you did. Like, I think about the day because I already see it happening, right? I can't wait for the day that someone sees me somewhere on a stage giving a talk, maybe a news article, a reporter, and just look at it and say, I saw that lady in the gas station one day and she paid for my stuff. I remember her. I was walking down the road one day and it poured down rain and it wasn't supposed to rain today. And this was the lady that pulled up on the side of the road and gave me her umbrella. I
Mm.
remember the day that this lady right here, she was working she used to work at Express. And I remember I couldn't get my car to work for nothing. And I realized that one of my bills had came out and I wasn't able to pay. And she showed me how to download the app and save me an extra 25% when she didn't have to. I am looking for the day where someone just recognized me and they don't have to tell me that they saw me. They don't have to tell me that they know me, but my character preceded me. And that's more
Mhm.
valuable than anything, any money or any check I could ever have. Because when I get to that point, I don't have to feel no kind of way about it or feel like I need to look back to pay nobody or look
Yeah.
back to help nobody, because everybody who knows my character, they already with me.
Yeah.
Baby, they
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
already, because baby, everybody that has helped me, it has helped me put a leg up. But I'm gonna take care of so many people, because I'm not gonna be able to keep up with the wealth I have, because I've already proven I don't need it. But when I get it, everybody who was a good steward of it gets a part of it. Cause I know what I'm sitting here for. I'm sitting here to love. But you know what? You know what color love is, huh? You know what color the heart chakra is? Green.
Green. Green.
Green. Green. I don't know any other better color expressing love. You get some little money. I started thinking about that. I want, how like, you see the little videos of people going around and they just be giving out money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do stuff like that. When I tell you
I
I can't wait
know
to do
that
shit
sounds
like
so
that,
cool. That's so
it's like,
cool.
baby, go get a car. You know what I mean? Because I know you struggling. I know you just trying to get to work. You just trying to get to work. You know what I mean? You're just trying to feed your babies. You're just trying to do better. You're trying to get to school and get your degree. You're just trying to get, across town to, help your mama. That's what I want to do. I want to be like ATBA. If a lot of you don't know this, share this part. This is where you pin. If you're going to pin any part of the conversation, for me anyway, pin this. ATBA stands for able to be able.
Mm.
Because a lot of us stop at the first able. I know I can do anything. If I want to get up right now and run through this window, baby, if it may take me a couple times and I might be bloody and bruised, but I can do
But you can
anything
do
I
it.
want. But
Yeah.
I can do it. I can do it because I have the ability to do it. But where we usually stop is at the ability and not at the being the able body. Because I am able to be able, that doesn't mean I cross that bridge a lot of times. And we have got to cross that bridge into who we know we ought to be and the person that we are living. Like Dr. Sue said last time, we get caught up in human doing and not being a human
Yeah.
being. Because we got to embody these things that we want to be, the calmness, with the peace. Like we all, people always, don't interrupt my peace. But you go giving it out all the time. You just give people pieces of your peace because you got this knee jerk
Yeah.
reaction to have to respond
Yeah.
to other people bullshit. And you
Yeah.
don't. You do not have to engage. Abort. 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 A lot of times that what we're connected to, we just abort. But we got to be good stewards of who we are so that we don't, like Dr. Sue said, find ourselves living an absolute lie. Things are not as hard as we say. We are not is treated as badly as we think. We are not looked over as much as we like to believe, because what we are doing is deciding to stay in places we no longer belong. And we're dealing with people who don't deserve our time. And we're at jobs that don't appreciate us. And we're in relationships that don't fill us up because we are scared to be alone. So you rather be alone with somebody? You rather be at a
Mm.
job and broke? Girl, bye. Shit.
That's deep right
Shit.
there.
If I'm gonna be broke, I'd rather at least have my time. I'd rather at least have my joy. I'd rather at least have my peace. And I promise you, when you set your point of attraction to the things that you can't quantify, ooh wee, that's when things start coming that you can't explain. And a lot of us get weary in well doing, right? Because we think that we're supposed to have blood, sweat, and tears on the pavement when we receive something. And it don't always happen like that. And we think because I had a girl the other day, not the other day, I had someone that I know that got blessed so much for something. And she worried and spun her mind around it so much that she worked herself out of the vortex that she was in. Someone
Wow.
gave her money. Someone gave her money. And I'm not talking about a little bit of money. I'm talking about thousands of dollars in order to save something for her. And because she was so hell bent on that she didn't deserve it, now she can't see this, but because her mind was so hell bent on the fact that she didn't deserve it, She don't even have the same position that she has anymore in order to even receive any type of money anymore. This is how strong our beliefs are. That's why it's so important to transmute this energy, because energy is, always has been, and always will be. But what we focus on will show us what it will manifest into. This will show you what you're going to manifest into. Because if you're looking for money and the way you talk about it is, I can't find money. Money is scarce. Money don't go on trees. Money always makes you evil. All the rich people that got the money is dirty. You're going to constantly find evidence of that. But if you say, I'm a good steward of money, money is my birthright. I have everything in abundance. Everything that I need is coming to me. Sometimes we want to have physical green money. Now, when is the last time you cashed a check and went to the bank and said, I'm on loan right now? Please give it up. Money is energy, and if don't
Yeah.
nothing explain to you more so than money is energy, take out your wallet. How much cash you got versus how much money you have, how much wealth you have, how much assets you have, how much credit you have. Baby, I got credit cards, and I know good damn well they know they shouldn't have gave me credit card for free. Please, please. But my energy says I'm worth it because they sent me one. But how many people out there before they applied for a credit card knew good damn well you did? You said, what you got that for? What you got that for? But it's energy, because I know what I need, and I know that I just need time enough to get it together to pay. But you believe that in escrow when it comes to that stupid credit card, but you don't believe it about your lover. You don't believe it about your job. You don't believe it about your weight. You don't believe it about your health. You don't believe it about your house. You don't believe it about your car. You don't believe it about your mama or your daddy. But escrow, you believe, of money you ain't never seen, but you have evidence that love exists. But you so depressed that you can't see it. You're so sad and so displaced because someone hurt you that you don't believe in it again for you. There is billions of people out here experiencing love, and it ain't for you.
Okay.
Come on. Have you seen the date pool? These pieces people out here so toxic, beating up on each other and talking about 10 years. Oh, got engaged with a black guy. We actually feel bad for her. And there's some people out here right now that don't want nothing more than a toxic relationship with a black guy.
But you know, everything has to, two things. One is that you cannot outperform your identity.
Yep.
And you, the other is that your thoughts really are manifesting, whether you express it at your mouth or not. If you never say a word, but you think a certain thing, that is energy. And you are creating, even if you never open your mouth. You're creating the world that you see in your mind because of your beliefs. If I could, if I could give one thing to the listener, it would be to encourage you to become a critical thinker, to critically assess your life, to critically assess your thoughts. Who are you being? Take back your agency, take back your power. Your power oftentimes has been stripped from you unbeknownst to you, which is how and why you get to that point of saying, I don't deserve any more. I must be a bad person because otherwise this wouldn't happen. No, 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 no. With the money, when Carrie was talking about the money, I just kept thinking, money, what's another word for money? Currency. It's currency.
Mhm.
And currency, like electricity, it moves. It is supposed to move. Now, what I say, I'm just saying, being real, real, I don't know Can it move around in my circle for a little while? I'm going to send it on its way.
You say,
I'm going to send it where it's supposed to go. I, but I'm going to hold on to it for a little while and let it
hold on
circulate
to
in my.
it. Let me see. Let me see. Look.
Yeah, humor is good for the soul. I'm just saying, humor is good for the soul. So I think that we have to learn to, I think my last words here, we have to learn to recognize the part that we play in our lives, recognize the part that we play in determining whether we have a quote unquote good life or a bad life. I would encourage you to step away from the labels. I would encourage you to, as you think about your life, if you are not happy with it or some aspect of it, I want you to mentally look back from whence you came. The life that you are living today is a direct result of what you did, thought, whatever back then. You want to have a different life, you got to do something different. Doing something different begins with having an awareness of where you are and how you got there. Doesn't mean you stay in that. Don't go back into the past. If you need that, you need a therapist. You don't need a life coach. Therapists look back and they stay back there with you in that. Life coach is the one that says, okay, so that brought you here. Where are you going? So if
Where
you
do you want to go? Yo.
if you cannot afford a life coach, there's so many resources out here on YouTube, on Google, whatever. You don't have to stay in that place. What you do have to do, if you don't like who you're being, you have to be accountable to self. What's that saying? Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. If you're not coming to save you, trust me when I tell you that no one else is. No one. And it doesn't matter whether you pay someone or not. You've got to do the work. Even a coach or a therapist, they can sit there and have the conversation with you forever. You still have to do the work. If you don't do the work, then I can guarantee you this: the same place you were yesterday, you'll be there tomorrow, because you've got to be accountable. And with choice, awareness, choice, and accountability, that's all about action. We start talking about wanting to transform. We can change is temporary. I change my clothes every day, y'all. Sometimes I change them 2 or 3 times a year, depending on what I'm doing. That's the way we do with behaviors. That's the way we do with thought. But if you want transformation, which implies that it is permanent, then you've got to put on the clothes of in your mind and keep it on. I'm just saying, I love you.
Love you too. And we love you, Keisha and Michelle and Dion and Halima and Diana and who else in here? Michelle. I said Michelle, didn't I? Who else came in here? Reese. Who else came in here? And whoever else slid through here if I didn't say your name. Like she said, Lisa, I am my own rescue. Ain't nobody coming for you. You know, Lisa Nichols is one of my favorite stories. You know, when she talks about how when her son was young and she was working out of her closet. I'll never
Mm-hmm.
forget that story. She said she put them hangers on like the little the pinch hangers, the pant hangers. She put all her little file folders in there, and she was doing like this, and then she said she like, I'll have my assistant call you. Like, hello, I'm her assistant. Hang on, let me get her. She be like, hello, this is Lisa Nichols.
Hey, you do what you got to do. Do what
You
you got
got
to
that
do.
right. You are your own rescue. Doggone it. You can be your assistant, your CEO, your builder, your PR, your all of the things. You are all the things. Like Dr. Sue say, have agency over yourself. You are in control of all the things that are you. And when you get a little wobbly, I promise you, you have an energy leak somewhere. Again, going back to this 808 portal, baby, when I talk about the everyday alchemy, one of the things that the free download that you're gonna be getting is the top 10 energy leaks you can look for. So when you get wobbly in your stance, when you get wobbly in your authenticity, when you get wobbly in your routine, check off these things and see if there's something seeping out in these areas. And a lot of times it's mainly your focus. You're paying attention to something else, and just it no different than like if you're driving down the road, right? You driving down the road and the road is straight as an arrow for miles and miles and miles and miles, but you see a bird and you're just driving straight, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, ooh, 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 just that fraction of a second. You
Yeah.
have to make sure that you're, even if it's in your peripheral, that your focus is always centrally focused on you, what you got going on, how you're feeling, what you see, how you have come to where you are, and paying attention to your neural pathways, how you got to where you are, and allow for what comes up to come out in that moment, not the one before, not worried about the next one, but right now where I am, where I stand, what is going on with me.
I want to
That's your next
shamelessly
step.
put in a plug for my book,
Yeah,
not because
please.
not because I think that I do want your money. I'm just saying I ain't gonna tell that lie.
We
But
want all the money, everybody money, and then we're gonna
but
give y'all the
but
money. Y'all want the money too.
but what I as we everything that we've been talking about, really what we haven't said, you must master your mind. Master your mind. That's where the gold is. That's where the power is. The subconscious mind controls 90 to 95% of your behavior. Don't you want to make that conscious? We walk around and it's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Girl, your 2 year old is driving this train. That's why that's
Sometimes,
why it's running off the rails, right?
yeah.
Your 5 year old, somebody said, shut up and sit down, and now you can't talk, and you don't know why you can't talk. You can't talk because the 5 year old internalized that is, I cannot speak, cannot speak. The 14 year old was molested. She can't have relationships with anybody because it takes her back to that point, right? So
Yeah.
all of these things, all of the micro traumas, the macro traumas, all of these traumas live within us until we make them visible. And if you want to know, well, how do I know what the trauma is? How do I know what's controlling me at the subconscious level? Look at how you're showing up today. Look at how you're showing up today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so um, where is it? Hang on, let me find it. Your master class coming up. You have a master class coming up. Okay, so yours is in August, right?
This
Yeah.
is my signature webinar, and I
Still
will
have this
run
one,
it
correct?
every Wednesday. So I'll run it next week, next Wednesday. I would love for you all to come. It is at 7 o'clock Eastern. I never know the rest of those times, but
Yeah,
7 o'clock.
7 Eastern, and so that would be 6 Central, 5 Mountain Time, and 4 Pacific.
Yeah. And now in August, starting in August, I will run it every Tuesday, the first 3 Tuesdays of the month. Same time, same station. You have to
7 p.m.
register. You can register, and it'll take you to. Uh, do we have the link? I can drop the
I got
link
it. It's right
here.
here. It's on the
Yeah.
screen right here.
Okay.
It's on the
Uh,
screen. It's good. It's on
he's
the
on
screen
it.
and it's in the comments. If you scroll all the way to the top of the comments, the link for my masterclass and Dr. Seuss masterclass is up top, and her website and my website is also up top
Come on
in
on,
the
come on
comments.
on. Let me tell you how to master your mind so that you can deal with some of the stuff that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, so it's
That's
masterclass.drsuecollarcollins.com/register. Again, it's going to be this Wednesday, starting in August. It's the first 3 Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, and then my master class is coming up, the 808 portal. If you forget, just remember, ooh, like an 808, circle like a figure eight, feel good from head to toe. Come on, baby, here we go. It is August the 8th, so y'all come. This is the link right here. Again, it's up in the comments up there. Calibrate.kartra.com/page/the AEMC. That stands for Everyday Alchemy Masterclass. So if you want to look at it, also you can go to my website, see all the offers and everything I got. But coming up on August the 8th, that's when the masterclass is, and it's gonna be good. It's just talking about the four principles of how you kind of, if you want to learn how to truly manipulate your energy, if you really want to know how to harness your energy and how to transmute it to better suit your life and the life you want to live, not the life you got, but take what you have and start to, like, for instance, if I had everything I had right now, right? And like if I'm hungry and I ain't got no grocery, I guarantee you, out of everything I got, I can make something. You know, we always go
Oh,
in the
yeah.
refrigerator. We go in the refrigerator and we're like, oh, ain't nothing in here. You
Yeah.
ain't Look, you ain't hungry enough. Baby, you ain't hungry enough.
It may
Because
not
I
be what you
promise you,
want. May not be
and
what
it
you
may be
want, but
better than
certainly you can make
anything
it.
you ever even thought. It's probably better than anything you ever thought you could even make. Yes, the ooh, like a 808, baby. 808, the 808 portal. So it's everyday alchemy. It's at noon Eastern Standard Time. So it's noon. And then 11 Central, that's my time. So if you got any questions, just DM either one of us. We're going to have all this information in the comments on the website. So if you need anything, just go back and watch the replay. We love y'all so much. Any other final words, Dr. Sue?
I love you. You love me.
We're
We're a
a
happy
happy
family.
family with a great big hug.
Love y'all.
Bye, y'all. See you later.